Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. Mike is here. Garrett is here today. Just the two of us today. Hello,
Howdy.
Garrett.
What's up?
How you doing, buddy?
Oh, it's a pretty good day, actually.
Yeah,
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 just one of
good day.
those smooth sailing at work. Nothing bad happened. Just got through
Excellent,
it. Get home.
excellent.
Everything's fine.
Isn't that the dream?
It's the
You
good
get
days.
just
I
like a
gotta
decent
appreciate
day.
those. Yeah.
How's the weather back home?
Oh, it's been raining like shit all day and it's cold.
Ah, God, I
But
don't miss the rain. Oh, I hated the rain. I think there's people out there that like it.
yeah,
I had a nice conversation with Marshall on the way to school. He was like, he got in the car and then he was like, "It's freezing out here. I forgot a jacket." I go, "Well, get your ass back inside. Just grab one.
yeah.
Jacket. Just a sweatshirt." And then we get in the car and then I got to fuck with him the whole way there, like about how freezing it is. It's 60 degrees and
Yeah.
sunny at 8:30 in the morning.
I was doing that to Marina for the whole first year she was here. I was like, oh, you think you
Yeah,
had it bad?
yeah. Marina's from Arizona.
Yep.
So yeah, I
Same
wonder.
area.
I'm worried about it because G will do that. He's been here 25 years now. So I think he was 24 years in Michigan ish. He wasn't born there, but basically, and then I think he's been in Arizona longer than he was in Michigan.
Yeah.
But he'll throw on a jacket and stuff. I'm like, dude, it's 75 out. What the fuck's wrong with you? And he's like, dude, you just wait, your blood will thin and you'll.
Yeah.
So I wonder, like, people have warned me about that. I posted a picture on Facebook, I think, over the weekend of the guy painting the studio, and he's got like a hat on, like a winter coat. And I made the joke, like, this guy, looks like he's going to a night game in Ann Arbor in November. You know what I mean? Like, holy shit,
Even
I'm in
then,
shorts
those
and
dudes
flip
are, I was
flops.
gonna say, even then, those dudes are still wearing shorts. They just have the coat and the hat on and everything over it.
Yeah, yeah. And I get it. There's a ton of Mexicans here, and they all are wearing, even in the dead of summer, but they're trying to stay out of the sun.
Yeah.
So they're wearing long sleeves and hooded sweatshirts and stuff because they don't want the sun beating on them, trying to protect from that. But people have told me, and people responded even in my Facebook post about how, yeah, you'll adjust. And I don't know. I haven't adjusted. I've been here a few months, and I still am like, it is absolutely gorgeous out. Once
Yep.
again, it'll be 70 by noon and
It's your first
sunny.
winter still.
Yeah, but I've been coming here for winters since G moved here.
Yeah.
So for 25 years, like once a year, I would come out here in the winter and it was awesome. But, I get it. I was coming out of, 12 degrees and dead of winter. I would like wait for that February or Christmas break and then I would shoot out.
Trick or treating in like 4-degree weather.
Yeah, exactly. So I would avoid all that. But I don't know. And I did during COVID. I'm trying to think. I think I spent 9 months here and then over a year in California, which is definitely different, the two of them. But I can't remember if I was here for a full winter. I don't know. But certainly nothing to bitch about, except the people here act like it's freezing. It's absolutely free. You're like, dude, 65 is not freezing.
Pussies.
I'm sorry to tell you. It's just hilarious. But anyways, I'm glad to hear it's raining back home. That is what I don't miss at all.
It's gonna be like that all week.
Is it really?
Yep.
Yeah, you should see. I can't imagine having the gig of like a weather guy in Hawaii. They're hilarious. They're like, oh yeah, another week of 85 and sunny.
Well, that's why they get really excited when the hurricanes blow through. It's like, we get to do some hot shit today.
Yeah, dude, it'd be awesome to be a weather guy in Michigan where give me 5 minutes. It'll change.
You can just make it up. That's the thing. You don't have to get any qualification. You just go like, yeah, the weather's just go outside, figure it out.
Yeah. It's like we have a gauge somewhere in here maybe, but then it'll change in an instant. Here it's like, after the football game, it sometimes kicks on to local news. And if I'm doing like a Lego or something, it'll just start playing in the background.
Yeah.
I would never like on purpose watch any local newscast, like hilarious. But sometimes before I can grab the remote, there's some bimbo giving us the weather report and like, oh yeah, you gotta be careful. It's gonna dip into the 50s overnight and then it'll be back to 75 and sunny for the rest of the week. And you're like, why is this even a thing here? Why are they doing this? Like, I just don't get it. It's crazy.
It's ridiculous.
Lots to get to. I think I did the story yesterday with you and Amy about libs of TikTok, and I was reading the didn't I do that with all the teachers flipping out?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be one of those rough days for the trans community. I think there's discussion on Capitol Hill about the bathroom stuff coming full circle,
Yep.
and so we'll get into that. But I just love these. This stuff should shock the conscience, and it's, you think historically of digging through newspapers and TV reports, and you find these stories, and they shock the conscience of like behavior that you all know inherently is wrong, but is like covered up in some way. And it becomes newsworthy because of that. And like the free pass that's been going on with so many of these things. Thank God, what's her name? Chaya, something like that. The Libs of TikTok girl, which is just such a great follow. If you're into this stuff at all about what's going on in the school systems and, what's going on with, some of the whack jobs who are in charge of your children, like Chaya is. And I personally know people that have children in the school systems that have sent stuff to Libs of TikTok, that Libs of TikTok is used.
Yeah.
Like, holy fuck, this is going on in my freshman college. Stuff like that. And you're just like, this can't be real. And you find out it is. And it's just crazy. And then you look at the reports of where we are as a country with statistics on, we rank 20th out of 81 countries and territories in our education. Like, it seems like a failure. I'm not terribly impressed with what I see around here, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I don't want to shit on everybody. I mean, obviously a lot of that comes down to how much parents are paying attention and involved. And, but you just start seeing this stuff crumbling away at society. And, where we rank with math and reading, writing, arithmetic and stuff like that. It's like, this seems troubling.
Another one of the good things I think Trump's been touting recently is that he wants to disband the sort of get the entire school system out of the federal government, push it back to states, so each state can teach the people. You can fund a little bit better. You don't have to rely on the government giving you your little bit of handout when they're dealing with inner city schools the same as rural schools.
Yeah, it seems like, you might want to try something like that. I just always think community is better than the big federal government hovering above. Like,
I agree 100%.
And I've had this feeling forever that they just don't seem like you're playing with other people's money.
Yeah.
And like that's how you get to a place where you're spending $10,000 on a screw. It's not, you're not really invested in any particular community. And it just seems like it's in better hands when voters are kind of tied to it. There's probably good examples of where the federal government, I used to have kind of a hard and fast where it was just like, protect the citizens. That's your job. Your job is to protect borders, have a military.
Just cover the country as a whole. The problems that we can't take care of as individual states, you just do the whole country. That's all you deal with.
Right. And it seems like more times than not, and I'm sure people can point to examples of like, thank God we've got the federal government involved in this aspect of society. I'm sure that's out there. I'm sure you could point to, well, what do you think the Department of blah, blah, blah would look like without the federal government? Like, idiot. Like, and maybe that's true on some level. Maybe there are things where, and I'm not giving them enough credit for those, but it just seems like everything the federal government is involved in on a national scale is not something you brag about.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like if you need to go to the Department of Motor Vehicles, the DMV, or where in your town, is it like, does anyone go, well, I got to give them credit. They've kind of hit this one out of the park. They're crushing.
No, everyone's like, fuck,
no.
I got to wait in line for 3 hours.
Yeah. And it
don't give me that scheduled appointment shit, because half the time you get there and your appointment's been rescheduled.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, who doesn't have that, tired story of, they're on person 4 and you grab a tab for person 88 and you're like,
great. Your afternoon.
Yeah. Yeah. It just seems like it's a joke. We all go through it. You got to put up with it. But it seems like more times than not, whatever they're in charge of, they don't do a great job of. And so I have absolute confidence that communities around the country would do a better job of that. You're talking about radical change and, especially for the people that just hate Donald. Everything that comes out of his mouth is viewed through this vision of he's some demonic, Hitler-esque point of view. And so it's easy to just spin it like he's trying to destroy the, like, I don't believe that, personally, but, so I was reading this article from Chaya, whatever her name is. For the past 2 weeks, I've been exposing radical teachers having meltdowns over the results of the election. However, not all school controversies are triggered by Trump derangement syndrome. I exposed a horrifying ongoing scandal that is tearing apart the St. Helens School District in Oregon. All started when parents learned about the arrest of Eric Stearns, a teacher in the St. Helens School District who was charged with alleged sexual abuse crimes against multiple students.
Oh, boy.
Huh. Crazy how that works. Parents then discovered that the school district allowed Eric Stearns to continue teaching for months while he was under an active police investigation without notifying parents. Smart. That seems like a good idea. So he's accused of sexually assaulting multiple students, and we're going to keep him on for now and see how this goes with kids involved. Smart. Parents flooded the next school board meeting, demanding accountability from the school and the board for the complete failure to protect children. Excuse me. I think I picked something up from Marshy. I get itchy throat.
Oh, boy.
These kids are sick constantly. It's unbelievable. Never seen anything like it. I think it's in their food.
Kids.
Is it just kids? I don't remember ever being sick as a kid. Like, now, I remember being fake sick a lot.
Yeah.
I have a test on Friday. Oh, I'm sick. I don't ever remember being sick growing up. Were you sick a lot?
Not a lot. I usually have like one good sick a year.
Yeah. Okay.
Take some time off.
I remember my parents getting the flu once a year.
Yeah,
and I remember
more often. I don't know why.
Yours did?
Yeah, now I do. I just get more sick more often.
Yeah, I
could be the HIV or something.
Could be the HIV, but I don't think I have the HIV. And I get stuff, but I'm old, so it's like, yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe it is our food system.
Yeah,
because I notice it with children everywhere. It seems like every time I'm talking to someone, it's like they're fucking toddlers, they're 3-year-olds, they're 8-year-olds, they're 10-year-olds, they're sick. They're sick, and that's my family too. Marshall's constantly sick. Reed mad constantly. Every time I talk to my sister, yeah, Mad's got this. Reed's sick with that. It's like, is no one curious as to why these kids are sick all the time? It just seems weird to me, but
yeah,
what do I know? So one brave mother recounted how she was ignored by the principal when she brought a police report to the school. Smart, your principal behaving like that. Like many of the parents, students of St. Helens also spoke out against the actions of the school board and demanded that they resign for allowing a teacher under sexual abuse investigation to remain in the classroom. Under the mounting pressure, the St. Helens High School principal and superintendent of the school district were placed on leave. The board chair of the district also resigned, with all eyes now on the school district. It also came to light that Eric Stearns, who was accused of sexually abusing the students, is the father of 2 children. This might come as a surprise to some, not all maybe, but I don't know. Both his children are non-binary.
Huh.
Yeah, it's weird. He's a Mexican-American parent of 2 non-binary kids, so seems like there might be something else going on there mentally. I don't know. I don't know what the statistical odds are of, an entire board at Disney. Their kids are all trans and non-binary.
Yeah,
I don't know what the odds of that are.
It was pushed.
It almost seems
forced
agenda-driven. Yeah. I don't know what the odds are of this Mexican-American father of 2 to have 2 non-binary children. Seems like it would be astronomically low, but what do I know? Just so happens. And he loves being around kids, and he's accused of sexually assaulting them. So,
yeah,
what do I know?
That don't look good.
No. This isn't the first time that this particular district has been involved in sex abuse controversy there. Earlier this year, the St. Helens School District paid out $3.5 million to a former student who claimed the school covered up sexual abuse of Kyle Roboleski, a former teacher and girls track coach. Yeah. I can't wrap my head around a school district. I just don't know the teacher when I was growing up where I would have thought like if something went down and a teacher got handsy with me or something, um, would try to cover that up or make that go away. I just can't imagine that.
No, usually I get blown up from telling another teacher.
Wait, what's that?
Usually if you go to a teacher, it gets blown up from there and it becomes an
Yeah.
actual that the problem gets solved, hopefully.
Yeah, I don't know why we're reading about these stories all the time. I don't know what they're trying to protect. If it's because I can't help but think Eric Stearns was protected because he's bragged about having two non-binary children.
It's
Now,
a little convenient.
like it just seems like there's such a worry that you're going to offend or be accused of something that you're not because you take issue with this stuff. And it seems like a lot of really shitty behavior is being swept under the rug. You saw this in Virginia, and if it wasn't for the Daily Wire doing the reporting that they did on that school district, and I'm trying to think, where was that in Virginia? But it
Fairfax?
Was it Fairfax, Virginia?
It was Fairfax County, yeah.
Maybe, yeah. And I'm trying to remember what the details of that story were. But it seems like there's this huge push to cover for these really shitty behaviors going on. It just seems outrageous to me when children are involved. You know what I mean? Like those are the ones that need the protection. That's the thing that's so weird. Like, you know, adults can handle a situation if someone tries to get out of control, usually, right? If that's going on at your workplace, like a lot of us can take care of ourselves, sort of, you know, maybe not me, but a lot of people could. Like kids, there's no chance, none. No. So you really got to go out of your way to look out for them. And it just seems like you wouldn't want any, like at all, ever. Like you have to pay out $3.5 million after being accused of covering up.
Over this guy?
Yeah, that's Mr. Stearns. That's the guy that, what do you know? Just luck of the draw. Has two non-binary kids. And he looks just like you'd think he'd look, right?
Yep. That's Chomo.
Yeah, and I don't want to, you know, just like I don't like to, like individuals behave in individual ways and they should be treated accordingly. But so many of these kids that seem to be growing up in these particular households have similar stories, you know? I don't know, it's just weird. It's just weird. And I'm sure he's done nothing to these kids. I'm sure they're just your everyday, normal, non-binary children.
That's the scary part, is a lot of the gay and trans stuff is rooted in a little bit of a child sexual abuse. I think that's why there's a lot more rampant, is it kind of progresses between more and more and more and more, and that's a problem.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
And this is kind of a case of that. You know, I feel like maybe his kids have something, or he has something to do with how his kids turned out.
You would, it wouldn't be out of the question, you know? And I think it's sad. It's tough because I absolutely believe, you know, Marina, for instance. I believe those individuals are.
I know a lot of them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've met a few of them, and they seem like individuals going through their lives that, you know, this is my reality. And it's like, okay, great. You know,
they're just doing their own thing.
Yeah.
Not bothering anybody.
Staying underground. But you know, what is it? Autogynephilia?
Yeah.
Is that the condition where men are sexually aroused by dressing up as women and going into women's spaces? I believe the definition is something along those lines.
That's what it is.
And so I know human behavior. I know human beings. And I really think it's imperative that the gay community, trans community comes out the loudest and most vocal over these cases. Like, unacceptable. You're using our community to protect these people under the guise that you're protecting us. But all it's doing is creating,
making us look bad.
It's making us look bad, and it's making us all look like groomers, pedophiles, monsters preying on you know, people and using this as a weapon against society for taking issue with it. When in fact, my guess is most people, just like most people in, you know, heterosexual society, most people in the gay community probably think it's abhorrent, the idea of, you know, doing anything with children. I would think most people in the trans community also feel that way. I don't know. I don't know if this case study is large enough, but that's what my guess would be. Is that, they're dealing with their issues the way, anyone else deals with their own issues, and they're decent human beings. But covering for this sort of behavior in school districts is, this community needs to stand the fuck up and loudly bitch about this.
Well, yeah, it's kind of like the modern mockery of the gay community is the bottom friendly menu on Grubhub or something. It's like, it's very kink focused and sex focused. So it's like, how am I supposed to show people that I'm just a normal dude who goes about my life and also happens to like dick?
Yeah.
Like, how am I supposed to show them that I'm just a normal dude trying to go about my life when everything they see about my community is either sex crimes or something kink related?
Yeah. Yeah.
It becomes very hard for me to just be normal.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And this push, I was watching Jen Psaki on TV. Oh, do you have that video? I think it was from yesterday.
Yep, got it right here.
Actually, and we never got to it yesterday, but I'll play it now. Claimed the issue that, and this has become a big deal. And a lot of people think this topic, she's for they, them, and he's for you. Like that message fucking worked, and a lot of people knew what it meant. And they've tried to parse this, and I'm shocked at the amount of people doubling down on this. Like, oh, that, these people are stupid or ignorant or blah, 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 or whatever they say. But this argument is just so dumb. She's trying to say that, men pretending to be women in sports to play against girls is not an issue. Well, let's hear her.
There's obviously a lot of soul searching right now going on within the Democratic Party, and that's a good thing. But what I worry about is that in the course of all that soul searching, some Democrats might reach the wrong sweeping conclusions. And there are a lot of issues that fall into that bucket. But one in particular that stuck out to me is transgender rights. Republicans spent hundreds of millions of dollars on anti-trans ads this election cycle, including one that showed Vice President Harris talking about government funding for gender reaffirming care for prisoners and detainees.
Yeah, that worked.
If that sounds like a particularly obscure issue, it is, because it applies to a tiny group of people.
Tiny.
And it's also a policy that, by the way, was in place during the first Trump presidency.
I think we thought.
Another one of the lines that ran over and over again in those ads and throughout right-wing media is this idea that America is faced with a crisis of boys playing in girls' sports. Now, these ads created this perception that the issues of trans kids playing sports was dominating schools across the country.
Where's that Jewish man to come in and say, hey, it's not men playing in women's sports?
Some people got pulled into that argument. I mean, immediately after the election, Congressman Seth Moulton told the New York Times that, quote, Democrats spend way too much time trying not to offend anyone rather than being brutally honest about the challenges many Americans face.
Fair comment.
I have 2 little girls. I don't want them getting run over on a playing field by a male or formerly male athlete. But as a Democrat, I'm supposed to be afraid to say that.
Fair comment.
And then last weekend, Congressman Moulton came on this network to discuss those comments.
I was just speaking authentically as a dad about one of many issues where I think we're just out of touch with the majority of voters. And I stand by my position. Maybe I didn't get all the words exactly right. But the point is that the backlash I've received proves my point that we can't even have these discussions as a party.
Yeah.
Look,
you can't,
reflection is good. But if that were actually an issue.
Yeah, go ahead. Is that the end of it?
With thousands of schools across the country, it would be worthy of a debate. But there are just incredibly few examples of transgender girls playing in youth sports. And when we see those examples, there isn't evidence that these kids are a threat to safety or fairness.
Not at all.
No,
not
at all.
Want
us to vote on an issue that only
I believe men have taken 900 medals at this point from women. So Jen Psaki, how many? What is the number where it is an issue worth talking about? What is the number? How many girls on a volleyball court? That famous video of that guy just burying a spike and smashing that girl in the face. I believe she was paralyzed on half of her face for a while, and had brain damage. I don't know if she was just concussed or something. But how many examples of those do you need before it becomes an issue? Like, if you take it into the context of, if you tried to pin the argument about a different topic, and say, like, these ultra extremists on the right are claiming that there are, schools where there are lynchings by the thousands. It's just not true. It's very rare, few examples
Well, no, you can
of
use
lynchings taking place in your schools. And why are we even talking about this? No, because one is enough, Jen.
Yeah.
I don't want one lynching going on in a school in America that we try to brush off.
Yeah, it's the death penalty argument that they always make, where it's like, well, I don't want one innocent man to be put down, if it means I have to save them all. And that's usually the argument against the death penalty. So does it take one girl getting absolutely demolished by a trans person and seriously injured or probably killed for that to click in your head?
Yeah, it's the same, like if you did like it's super rare. The extreme right wants you to believe, claims that there's a prolific rapist in your town. The truth is there have only been 3 rapes by Rapey Rick. As these hateful bigots like to refer to him as Rapey Rick. But there's only been 3, which means 99% of the time, Rick is just Rick.
Yeah.
So why are we even having this conversation? This is not a problem in your area, in your community. Like, it's outlandish on its face. I mean, the joke is that O.J. Simpson hardly ever murdered people. He had one night where he murdered, his ex-wife and a waiter. Like, one. Think about how old what was he, a 40-year-old man? He'd gone almost his entire life without killing anybody. Yeah. And then what we want to make murder illegal now because he had one bad night? Like, what are we talking about? I just don't understand it. This is so rare. It's just so rare. It's the J.D. Vance, Martha Raddatz argument. And we'll play it in a minute, but how rare is it? It just seems like, you can't do any good. You can't go down this road without ending up at this place where it's like, okay, now the system is so fucked over. We're having these debates about what was swept under the rug to protect this group and that group, when it's like you could go back to the gay community, they just want to get married and have insurance together. It's like, okay, some people like to say that that's where this all started. Garrett, was your fucking community demanding all your equal rights.
The classic, what are they going to do? Try and marry trees next?
Yeah. Dude, that's funny you bring that up. I remember that.
Here we are.
Here we are. Oh, yeah. Oh, just because someone's got gender identity, they think they're a different gender. Oh, yeah. Well, what if they claim to be a cat? Now what? Oh, yeah. Like, that's a real problem. People running around pretending to be cats. Here we sit.
Yeah.
Here we fucking sit. Do you know how many gender identities there are? I looked at the new list.
You asked me that before the show, and I said I think I was up to like 76 was my number, and I was wrong. I'm a little behind.
We're up over 100 now.
Yep, 107.
So I've come to the realization after reading through this exhaustive list of everything these people demand to be addressed as. There are male, female, and look at me genders. That's the 3 gender. Like, you could really sum this up when you go through these as male, female, and I need attention. That's what it comes down to. And we're playing this game, so why does it matter? You want to put these other genders into protected classes in society, okay? So you want to say someone can't be discriminated against based on their religious beliefs.
Well, not just that, it gives all of them a little minority card they can flash.
Right.
A little bit of a victim status they can throw at people.
Exactly. Just being you isn't good enough. You need some sort of victimhood card. I see it played all the time. There's a real push from, I'm sorry, ladies, but liberal white women seem to really like prove their victimhood, all over the place. You see them all over TV. You see them in society, this kind of entitled attitude, which sucks. But when you're talking about putting people into protected categories, well, now you bring hate speech laws into it. And so someone claims discrimination based on whatever their protected status is. You're getting into a very gray area when you're talking about 107 different clown categories for society. I'll give you some of them that I wasn't even aware of. Okay, male, female, huh?
Do I have to try and guess?
You want to try and guess?
All right. Let's see how good my gay is today.
ABBA me gender.
Do you like ABBA?
Yeah,
Dancing Queen. You're a Dancing Queen.
Dancing Queen fan would be good. No, it's ABI, associated with being profound, deep, and infinite.
Oh, deep.
Adamus gender.
Adamus or Adonis?
ADAMAS gender. This is a category. This is how many gender identities exist. Updated 2024 list.
Yep. All right, you got to tell me that one. I'm out.
Okay, that one is a gender that's indefinable or indomitable. People identifying with this gender refuse to be categorized.
I thought that was non-binary.
Shut up, Garrett. Fucking bigot. What are you, a bigot?
Gender non-conforming.
Aerogender?
You like Indians. I mean, sorry, Native Americans. Damn it.
No, different kind of arrow, but not bad. Not a bad guess.
I went there. I tried.
This gender identity changes according to their surroundings.
Okay.
So I don't know when that would change, like seasons.
I'm at work, I'm just all gruff and rough, and then as soon as I get out of work, if I pass by a beauty salon, I have to stop in and get my nails done.
You're just a princess.
I'm just a princess.
So you're aerogender.
Apparently.
Affect you gender.
Your gender is you like something?
Dude, if you think I'm going to give you the fucking easy ones, you're insane. I'm not going to give you agender and cisgender. Like, I know.
I stopped at 76.
I know you're going to ace that test. No, this is going to be hard.
I know you probably don't get this, but there's a lot of people listening who do. But it's just kind of like Pokemon. Like, we all stopped at a generation, and anything that came out after that doesn't exist.
Yeah. Well, that's fair.
Yeah.
Well, but it keeps growing. The list keeps growing. So when you're like, this is so small, why are we even talking about this? Because it's not stopping. I was talking about this in 2004, fuckers. So yeah, that's why. And here we are discussing whether a gender flux is a real thing. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't know what it was either.
A lot of genders at once.
This person is mostly agender.
Okay. So wait, I thought that was the Abby gender or Adam gender.
Yeah, well, shut up, Garrett. Shut up, bigot.
Fuck.
No, a gender flux is a person with this gender identity is mostly agender, which is again no gender.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. With brief shifts belonging, like I'm a man, I'm a woman. No, I'm back to being.
That's got to get really annoying.
Yeah. Let's see. Ambigender.
Okay, that's your right hand is male, but your left hand's female.
That would be ridiculous. How dare you? That's almost insulting. That might be hate speech.
All right.
So this gender fluctuates.
Okay.
Sometimes male, sometimes female. Ambigender. So it fluctuates.
Okay.
Ambonic. I think I might
the last
be
one, but with robots.
No.
Okay.
Fucking hate speech.
Sometimes you're human, sometimes you're not.
Don't joke about this. These are serious people.
I am taking this seriously. I'm trying my best.
Ambonic is I'm a man.
Okay.
And I'm a woman.
Okay.
Yet I'm neither.
How's that work?
Yeah. Okay.
What's the pronouns for that?
Amicagender. Do you know what amicagender is?
That's something you say to cast the transition spell. Amicagender. You're a dude now. Now you're a chick. Amicagender.
I'm pretty sure that's hate speech cloaked in humor is what you just did there. I'm pretty sure that's a hate
with
crime.
The cloak and the wizard stuff. You're in.
Amicagender. That's not bad. That's
like
pretty good actually. No. This is a person that changes their gender depending on the friends they have. That used to just be known as two-faced, and we didn't like those people.
Yeah, those.
You're one person around Garrett, and then completely different again around me.
Be pretty insulted.
Yeah. So who the fuck are you? Oh, you're fake. You're someone not.
Two friend groups meet. Like you're hanging out at a bar, and friend group A and friend group B happen to be in the same place. You just fucking have a panic attack.
Yeah. It'd be like, oh my god, I'm ambigender. Leave me alone.
Yeah. Or you go ambigender, where your left and your right hand are different.
Yeah, that's true. Ambidextrous gender.
Yeah.
Ambidendry gender. Okay, how about autigender?
See, I thought you said autogender. I was like, oh, you like cars. I saw that documentary on TLC once.
No, that's not what it is, smartass. Autigender is an identity that is deeply influenced by being autistic.
Oh, that's me.
Yeah, I think a lot of these people are some level of autistic.
It's a lot of autigender.
Yeah. Let's see. Burst gender.
Isn't that like gender flux? Like sometimes you just get a random like, I'm all of them. No, I'm not.
That's not a bad guess, and I didn't feel that was hatred. Frequent bursts of intense feelings quickly move to being calm.
Okay, so you're I'm a female, and then you like have a tantrum like one, and then you go back to just being regular dude.
It says bursts of intense feelings, so they don't even like. So
That's
you're just burst
gender,
that hardly strikes me as a gender, but again, it feels like we're getting into a gray area. Casflux, fluctuating intensity of irrelevance towards gender. So you get a category and you get a category.
Yeah, I just don't care.
Casflux, like, so fluctuating intensity of irrelevance towards gender. So if someone's just chirping your ear off about their fucking gender, and you're like, oh my God.
Fuck off. That's what we all are.
Yeah, I'm Casflux as shit right now.
Yep.
Enough. This is irrelevant to me. Send gender. These guys are
you
wizards,
get to gender
man.
other people. Again, wizards. It's like you get to come up to somebody and say alakagender, and that's like a send gender spell.
Yeah, no, send gender as in CEND, Kend gender. So this is, these guys are fucking wizards.
Yeah.
Here I am. And now I'm another gender.
How did that happen?
And by the way, I'm skipping dozens at a time. Dozens.
We're just in the C's, aren't we?
Yeah. Call gender, COLL. Various genders are at the same time in this person. So you can have all these genders going on at once inside.
Oh, that's like one of those DID systems they cover on shows sometimes now. There's like DID systems, people who think they have a bunch of other people living in their head, but they're not schizophrenic.
Okay. Yeah, schizophrenic.
Yeah.
Multiple personality disorder.
Exactly.
Color gender. You familiar with color gender?
That's just your gender is your race. It's why the brown and the black flag stripes are on the big old gender flag.
Sort of. It's where they don't say black because, you're probably right. If you're color gender, it's like, that's a black dude. That's a brown dude. No, you can be pink gender or blue gender or green gender. Black gender is apparently one of the color gender people.
I identify as black gender.
Did you know Demi Boy?
I did know Demi Boy. That's like the girls who are trying to be guys, but not all the way. They're a little androgynous about it.
Identity is partially, but not wholly male. Yep. But then there's Demi Girl, which is partially, but not wholly female. Then there's Demi Guy, because Demi Boy's not good enough for Demi Guy. And that's partially, but not wholly male. I don't even feel like I'm Demi Guy or gal. So we need to add Demi Man too, who is partially, but not wholly male also. So then there's dual gender, includes two genders. So I'm a man and a woman.
Okay.
I go to whichever bathroom's empty at the time. I just go in there and do my thing. Duragender, demi-woman, X-gender, Gemigender. That person has two genders that are opposite, yet they flux and work together.
Oh, like Gemini. I get it.
Okay.
A lot of these are just turning into astrological signs to me.
Yeah.
Ever talk to those crystal girls?
Yeah, it's sort of gender vague.
Yeah. These are the same people who are going to tell me like, "Oh, I was a bitch today because Mars was in retrograde." Like, fucking Mars has something to do with their attitude.
I don't even think I'd respond to that person. I think I would just go and turn around and walk away.
Yeah,
like, I didn't know you were still in make-believe periods of your life. That's cool. Like, we went through this when Marshall was 3. I remember this.
I always tell him like, "Oh, I too am an asparagus," and then I leave.
Yeah. That's a fair response. I don't hate that. Gender witched.
That's a victim of somebody who is Alec-agendered.
It could be, yes, which is also a hate crime, I think. No, gender witched is inclined toward the notion of having one gender, but I'm not sure which one it is. So I'm would
feeling
go further,
like a dude, but could go either
I'm not
way.
sure. I'm not sure, though, which one it is. To me, this person's just kind of an asshole.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest about it, like a lot of you gender these ones that are going on, and we're at 107 today. Garrett, when you started here, I believe we were somewhere in the 60s or 70s.
Yes. We were in the 72, I think.
Yeah. There's heel gender, intergender, maverick, a non-binary gender characterized by autonomy and conviction about one's inner self and self-worth. Mirror gender, changing one's gender type based on the people surrounding you. Again, two-faced gender. Yeah. This is you looking in the mirror. Dude, this goes on and on and on for pages. These people all have one thing in common. All of them. All of these genders outside of, they're all look at me cases, extreme narcissism.
Yeah.
These are extreme. Like, there's going to be a clinical study done at some point on these. Like, you used to just laugh at the one weirdo in school. There was usually one weirdo hippie girl or something, or fruity boy probably is an example.
Groups of them by my time.
What? Yeah, there would have been.
They traveled in a little pack. You know, you could they're all together. They did their thing. They went about their day.
Right there, we had dirts, the kids that wore leather jackets and smoked or something, burnouts.
Yep.
Like, is this just another clique group like that?
It is.
It started.
I don't know how it is nowadays because I'm almost 10 years out of high school, but it's one of those things where it's like it kind of just is those cliques again. I feel like this, at least where I was leaving high school, it was like they kept to themselves and they usually just bounced their own ideas to the point where when they went on Twitter, it seemed like a way bigger deal than it was.
Yeah. I think why this matters to me so much and why it's important is not that these groups exist. I understand young people. I really do. I believe it or not, I was one. And I know what the feelings of wanting to be different. We went through the stages of normcore, like those things existed through time where it's like, yeah, man, nobody gets me, bro. Like you're going to be an outcast. Some asshole would tape over his mouth and be like, I'm being
those fucking assholes.
Like these douchebags. Like every group had those growing up.
And they draw pictures on it and stuff like gay people would.
I'm making a statement, man. Look at me. Aren't I cool, man? Look at me and my...
No, I mean, they were speaking for those who couldn't speak.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's a day of silence for those that can't speak. We're not taking it anymore. Like, I get young rebellion, figuring out who you are, trying to get through life, just trying to find your way in the world. That's all fine and good. And older people kind of chuckle at that, understanding where that comes from, when you're kind of getting away from the nest and mama bird for the first time. And, you
trying to stand for something.
Yeah. Marshall's going through it now where he thinks he's kind of hardcore. He can't say fuck because that's an adult word and he's not allowed. So he got in the car with me today and he just goes, oh, frick. And I was like, I don't know who on the playground told him, oh, frick is cool. He's such a dork and such a douchebag. He doesn't even realize what a douche he sounds like when he's like, oh, frick. Like that's how a 9-year-old displays that they've got a rebellious streak in them. Yeah. Oh, frick. I forgot my jacket. It's like, yeah, you're
real hard there.
Yeah, what's that?
Real hard there, man.
Yeah, he's going hard in the paint. He's a tough guy. Oh,
Yep.
frick. Like, oh, you're just such a dork. You don't even realize it.
We had growing up White Trash Wednesdays for a little while because our cousins live next door. And I don't know if I told the story before, but basically on White Trash Wednesday, we just decided, fuck it, the kids get to say whatever they want to say. It was more just entertainment for the parents because they got to watch me and my cousins run around the room. You know, we didn't know, we overheard swear words, but we didn't know what any of them meant. So we're just fuck, shit, fuck, shit, fuck, shit, ass, ass.
And I imagine the kids are all doing that in the playground. I remember stuff like that.
Oh yeah, it was
like,
fucking
you
hysterical.
Get out of the adult supervision window, and you're going to be hardcore. You're tough. Yeah. Ooh, we're saying naughty words.
It's the only night you were allowed to swear, so it was like kind of special to the kids.
Yeah. So these groups used to just be like, oh, these are the dreamers, these are the burnouts, these are the jocks, these are the whatever category. Well, there's been such an explosion in this, which is fine if this is this generation's way of rebelling or, raging against the machine, if you will.
Yeah,
that's fine. But they want legal protections on shit. They want hate speech laws drawn up. This is happening in Europe. This is happening in Canada, where, you can be thrown in prison for shit like this. And these people would be so fine when you're working your way up to Capitol Hill with stuff like this, where we're having debates about which bathroom to use with a senator who's transgender. Like Rick Levine is making policy decisions and shaming the nation for how they feel and believe. It's like, yes, I understand this starts as a small, tiny percentage in society. And yet here we are a few short years later having vicious fights. Elections are decided over it nationally, over stuff like this garbage that people are done playing with. So House Speaker Mike Johnson said that trans men will not be allowed to use the women's shitter here in the U.S. Capitol. He said there's not going to be any biological dudes using our restrooms. I'm paraphrasing that, according to Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene. Boy, she is their AOC, isn't she? Yeah. They don't like her at all. She doesn't give a shit.
She's a little annoying.
It's pretty aggressive for biological men to be invading our spaces. The speaker's comments come after Representative Nancy Mace from South Carolina, who's hot as shit, by the way. Nancy Mace, I've seen her on some shows, and it's like, damn, girl. She's pulling it together for sure. Good on her. Let's see, comments after Representative Nancy Mace introduced a bill to keep Sarah McBride, a trans identifying man who will represent Delaware in the House next year, from using the women's bathroom in the Capitol. McBride, more like McHusband.
Yeah.
Will be the first ever trans identifying member of Congress. Well, congratulations. I know her. I can't remember. Sarah's just a lady. Sarah McBride. And I believe all of Sarah's degrees, college experience is all about some bullshit trans and gender identity shit. Like a worthless degree completely, but is now serving as representing the people from the Capitol.
One of those who gets paid way too much to go in the businesses and talk.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know what it means. Certainly is kind of a worthless degree. When I remember looking up like, oh, I wonder what, was this just some astrophysicist who happens to be trans? No, it's exclusively the trans world. So I can't remember exactly, but underwater basket weaving, one of those bullshit, degrees they got. So
studies.
Yes, Mace's bill would prohibit House members and staffers from using single-sex facilities other than those corresponding to their biological sex in the Capitol and House office buildings. Staffers from using single-sex facilities. So they don't. Single sex just means that single. They don't mean single bathrooms like those ones that just have one person. Because I've seen those. Yeah. I thought it was hilarious when I went in California. I popped into some Dunkin' Donuts and they were bragging how, this is a any gender can use this bathroom. And I went in there and it was just one toilet and a sink. It was like, yeah, no shit.
No shit.
That's how these work. You lock the door
put a sign on the
you.
door that says bathroom.
Yeah, exactly. That's all it was. But they still needed that category, like everyone's welcome here. No matter, it's like, oh, men and women are allowed to use your bathroom. You know, it's a single stall. Like, just lock the door behind you.
I mean, I guess it saves you from doing a double take to be like, oh, is there another bathroom around here? To like make sure this is the right one.
Well,
that's about all I would do.
Not really. Not really. And I'll tell you why. Because at this particular Dunkin' Donuts, the bathroom was literally in the middle of the store. It was like in the middle of the store, just one bathroom. California is like this, like property value. Properties are weird. There's not a shit. It's very common to not have drive-throughs and some things because it just costs a lot of money for the land. And so a lot of layouts in California establishments are kind of wacky. And so this was one of those where the bathroom was just in the middle of the store, like a single thing. And then I exited it and then just went right up to the counter. So it wasn't like down a hallway and to the right, and then there's two doors. No, it was just like, this is all this was a bathroom literally in the middle of the place. The prohibition would be enforced by the House Sergeant at Arms. So he's going to be like, hey, lift up that skirt. Lift up that skirt. What's going on under there? Get out of here, you.
Yep.
He would be in charge of policing that. I think they would only have to worry about the one dude, Sarah, just a lady.
Yeah.
So it was like, Sarah, sweetheart, you got to go down there. You can pull your dick out in that one. You can't pull your lady dick out in this one. Something like that, sounds like. Sarah McBride doesn't get a say in this. If you're a biological dude, you shouldn't be in a woman's restroom. Democrats, of course, accused Mace of bullying the member of Congress-elect. This is not just bigotry. This is just plain bullying, AOC said. AOC, did you see she removed her pronouns from her Twitter bio?
Yep.
Why would she do that, by the way? Serious
might not
question.
Be the popular thing anymore, and she's quite fond of being the popular thing.
Yeah, that seems weird. And unless it's like, no one's been talking about me lately. What do I do? And then you want to stir up news or discussion about you? Is that why you would do that? Like, I don't know what the win is there for her, unless it's like, okay, this isn't popular anymore to say she, her. Yeah. So I'm just going to take it away. Like, you had to make a conscious decision to go and edit your bio to remove that. Everything else appeared to be the same. It just seems like a weird play. It
could just be an attention grab.
Yeah, it seems like it. I don't know. Speaker Johnson said there were concerns about trans-identifying men using restrooms and noted that Congress has never had to address this before. The lack of urinals in the ladies' bathroom is never, believe it or not, this is literally a 2024 issue.
Yeah.
It is not something the hallowed halls of Congress have had to deal with before. I don't know where we go from here. 3/4 of Americans think biological males who identify as women should not be allowed to use women's locker rooms, showers, and bathrooms. That, according to a new survey from Napolitan News Service. And 1 out of 4 Americans are dipshits. The same poll found, apparently. I made that part up. So does this matter? I don't know. On some level, yeah, because it normalizes behavior, right? That's what it's meant to do. And when I said that, 900 prizes, medals, ribbons, whatever, have been afforded to biological males in women's sports, girls' sports. There are precisely 0 trans men who are dominating a male sport somewhere in the world. That is not happening. I would welcome that if there's a lady, a biological female that identifies as a man.
It'd be just a gruff man.
Wants to go into those, wants to go onto that football field, that hockey rink, that soccer pitch, that volleyball court, and show these guys what's up. I'm just one of you. Well, then you would think there'd be one example. There'd be one where you could go, hey man, what's good for the goose is good for the gander.
Yep.
You know, these biological males, ladies, might be winning some medals in some sports, but guess what? Some of ours are kicking the shit out of yours too. No, it's 900-0.
Well, no, and it's getting so bad that it's also leading to trans exclusionary radical feminists. It's leading to the LGBs without the T's.
Yeah, I love that group.
It's a lot of people pushing. It's like, you got to get the fuck off us because you're becoming a huge problem for the entire community.
I've always said, like, the L's, I get the L's.
Yeah.
I get the G's. I get it. If you're a G, I get it. The B's, I've always kind of taken issue with. It's like, make a fucking decision, asshole. You're being selfish.
You know,
you're being
just let them do
selfish.
their thing. That's the thing with the B's, though. It's like, as long as they're acknowledging that bi means two, let them do their thing.
Right. But it's like, hey, man, when we go into a bar, like half the room is typically off limits. And the B's are like, not good enough. I want the whole bar. I'm selfish. And so
the whole bar doesn't want them. That's the game they have to play now.
Right. But, you know, that's the world they're living in. And I always felt it was kind of selfish, like pick a lane and go with it. But fine. I'm fine. So I'm good with the L's. I'm good with the G's. I'm good with the B's. And I'm good with the concept of the T's. It's just this version of the T's where it's like, yeah, this was the fear. And it was like, oh my God, are you out of your mind? This is such a small fraction. Can you just leave these people alone? Well, no, it's a small and ever-growing group that is continuing to end up in these stories, just dominating in some aspects of women's sports. Not all every school is going through this. I understand that. And you may be lucky enough to not have to deal with this where you are, but you know, I just think it's wholly unfair. You know it's wrong inherently, and yet you're catering to this. You just
are. The whole reason we have gendered sports. It's just, unfortunately, one gender's built different. That's okay.
And women couldn't compete in those spaces, and so they developed their own space.
Exactly.
That's how that went down. And then they got, was it Title IX protections?
Yep.
To make sure that they were treated fairly as equals. Is that perfect? Probably not. But for the most part, they're not going to be able to just be like, yeah, no one gives a shit about the women's fucking soccer team, so we're just going to disband it. No, you can't do that. There's protections for that they get every opportunity.
After they lost to a high school boys team.
Right, but they have protections in these lanes where they are afforded every equal opportunity. Like that's the way it is. And so to start trampling into those spaces to protect someone, and I've said before, and I really mean it, like, okay, if you are that person that has a more difficult go of it because of something you can't control, whether it's the way you're wired, the way you see yourself, whatever. Marina, I'm not saying Marina's like, it can't be easy. It has to be something that's on the back of your mind that, am I going into a space where someone's going to laugh at me? Someone's going to make fun of me? Someone's going to put hands on me? That's a real thing. And I hope those people, you know, you put hands on someone, you break the law. I hope you go to jail for that. Yeah. I hope that they hit you with like, hey man, you don't need to make someone's life more difficult than it is. But the reality is, if you choose to go down that road, and people like, you know, Bruce Jenner fought this for decades and decades. When you read his writings about it, like, you know, literally trapped in the closet, trying on his wife's underwear and painting his nail. Like, it was a difficult thing, you know. Yeah. Those challenges existed, and it's sad, but those are a reality. You don't strip society of all its norms to cater to this. You know what? If you've got something wrong with you, that it's going to make your road a little rougher at times. And you don't want anyone to be able to break the law, but that's just the reality of it. You shouldn't sacrifice women's sports for the mental whatever of this person who just happens to go in and dominate on the court. You know, there's this
the Leah Thomases of the world.
Right. Because Leah Thomas can't fucking cut it as a male swimmer who probably is just an autogynephiliac, honestly. You know, the girls all talk about his huge dick and how he can't wait to get fucking nude in a locker room. You know, like, Okay, that's a medically recognized condition. So what,
Yep.
do those not exist anymore?
No, I don't know if you've seen the recent joke, but it's going on like r/lesbians and just seeing how much of it is trans men who are barely passing it.
Wait,
So it's like
r/lesbian?
Reddit page just for lesbians to talk about lesbian issues and stuff like that. And it's all trans men now just looking for love
Yeah.
with women.
Yeah. Yeah. They've tried to make it so that you're a bigot if you, go on a date with a trans man that you think is a woman. Because believe it or not, there are fucking soft featured dudes who can absolutely fool. I've
100%.
said you are asking to get, dude, you are fucking around and you could find out in a really negative way.
Yeah.
You just could. Like that is a dangerous game you're playing.
No, there's
doing
a reason
that
why
to someone.
my bumper sticker is a gay flag with a little gun on it that says "Liberty for All." It's because the gays got to arm up a little bit, dude. If you're going to be going out dressed like that, keep a gun in your skirt.
Dude, I remember the early days when you guys were like, all right, fuck this, and started hitting the gym. And then you guys got fucking shredded.
Yep.
And you had to think twice, like, do I want to pick a fight and get my ass kicked by this fucking homo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not just an ass kicking. Now you got to go to work and tell your buddies that a bunch of homos kicked your ass.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And dude, I wouldn't mess with them. You guys, like, as a community, the gay men community is just, they're awesome. They are incredible. Saw an issue, saw where it was going, and we're like, fuck that. We'll take care of ourselves. We're still men. We can handle our own. And they fucking bulked up in mass, like as a community. They did.
Like, hey, gay people, you have the same. This is why I always get mad when all my gay friends are anti-gun too, because that's the Democratic talking point. They think just because they're leaning left, they have to value all the left values, so they can't own guns. Like, no, dude, if you're honestly think you're threatened every time you leave your house, keep a piece on you.
Yeah, smart.
If you're so scared to leave the house, you're scared to go to the grocery store, and you think people are going to assault you. Well, you have protections. Use them.
These stories, though, and it's kind of going back to Jen Psaki's talking point. This is so rare. Why did you even care? And my question to the Jen Psaki's of the world is, okay, you keep making this argument about how rare this is, and then you keep being presented with evidence that, well, it's happening all over. And so, there's a team here who won the states. And what do you know? They had 5 transgender biological males on the squad. What are the fucking odds of that?
I wonder how that worked.
Yeah. 0 is the answer to that. It's people gaming a system, taking advantage of something, and fuck the girls. Who cares what the girls think? What are they going to do about it? Beat us up? Nope. Deal with it, ladies. We have people like Jen Psaki going to bat for us and pretending we're all victims. So a high school girls volleyball team forfeited California State playoff game and their season over a trans male player on the opposing team. The girls' school said last week, calling the decision heartbreaking. Stone Ridge Christian in Merced, about a 2-hour drive east of San Jose, announced Friday that they would forfeit Saturday's game against San Francisco Waldorf. We were just informed that our opponent Waldorf has a male athlete playing for their team. The school added that it has a duty and responsibility to care for the health and safety of our athletes. After consulting with our students, coaches, and staff, we have made the difficult decision to forfeit the game. This is a heartbreaking end to our season, but I hope you will join me in congratulating these outstanding student athletes. SRC is proud of them. The male athlete, Hank Henry there, is the San Francisco Waldorf's star player and captain.
Oh, weird.
Dominating and scoring and everything. Well, shock.
Yeah.
The teams play under the California Interscholastic Federation, which enacted gender identity participation rules. All students should have the opportunity to participate in activities in a manner that is consistent with their identity. Yeah, deal with it, ladies. That's just the reality. Deal with it. And then, furthering that, and I know it's a trans heavy show today. I said that to Garrett before we started, but there's, and that's okay. That's all right. I think, the vote a couple weeks ago was heavy on this. I do, believe it or not, I do avoid a lot of these stories, but it's kind of leading to a theme that weaves throughout. Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, one of the in the United States, one of the top offenders when it comes to irreversible sex change procedures for children. You can't make this shit up. The hospital known as CHOP. Are they fucking with me now? They're fucking with me, right? Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, CHOP.
I wonder what they do there.
Yeah. Take a wild guess what they do there. Boasts that it's the first United States hospital devoted exclusively to the care of children. We just care for children. Yeah. It has programs devoted to helping children explore and attempt to change their genders. These people are sick as shit, man.
That does not sit well with me at all, especially kids who just don't know what the fuck they want in life.
No. How could they? Oh. How could they? Yeah, dude, the shit that comes out of Marshall's mouth.
Yeah, and it's like
he'll show me some piece of shit in a kid's catalog or something. It'll be like, this is the best name product here in the world. And I'll be like, yeah, I'm sure that $14 skateboard is the best one in the world.
Oh, yeah.
How did we come to this conclusion? And it's just some propaganda bullshit on a commercial he heard. Oh, my God, this is the best toy in the world.
Yeah.
And he needs it because it's the best in the world. Like, you're talking about that level of fucking intellect. Like, intellectually, they're retarded human beings. The idea that they could have any concept of yeah, we're just going to take you over to CHOP. Holy shit. I read it out of a horror movie.
There's a reason why advertisement in all of history has been geared 100% towards women and children. They're the easiest targets. And it's not anything against them. It's just women like to buy things for their families and their children, and children like to buy the dumbest shit possible.
Oh boy, that was sexist.
And they're really good at convincing their parents.
Yeah, kids are remarkable with it. Like the shit they fall for, they just read it on a box, on a cereal box, and be like, "Yep, that's fact now." This is. He actually told me this was part of a healthy breakfast. His Cookie Crisp. I was like, "Oh, it is. Yeah, that's part of your health. You're eating cookies for breakfast, you fucking moron. What are you talking about?" No, it's part of a healthy breakfast. Okay, all right, we're doing this. Yeah, even if you cut up tiny little banana pieces and put it in there, that's not a healthy breakfast, dummy. But he absolutely believes it through no fault of his own. He's only been here for a few short years.
Yeah, and everything he's heard says that's part of a healthy breakfast.
Yeah. So the hospital here is leading the nation in offering life-altering sex-related interventions for minors. Do No Harm is going after CHOP now. So they're going to be like, hello, America. Here's what CHOP is doing here in Philadelphia.
Yep.
So just so you're aware, since they don't want you to know what the fuck's going on behind this hospital for children's doors, we're going to be the ones to inform you. Yeah. Just so you're aware. I have no problem with that. It is the Hippocratic Oath, by the way. First part of the Hippocratic Oath is to do no harm. So it's kind of makes sense when you're talking about the medical field to do no harm. So I have no problem with the group Do No Harm targeting CHOP. With a new digital campaign is what they're targeting with. They'll make Philadelphia parents aware of their devotion to gender ideology. This is going to, mark my words, blow up historically. Like they're learning this stuff in Europe. They're already, it's affecting all kinds of stuff. What's that?
You were saying it 10 years ago. Wait until the lawsuits start piling in.
Yeah, absolutely. I meant it then. I was kind of for it for a while. Like this, let's fast forward. Let's just get to the lawsuit part. Nope. Like, how many dicks do you have to cut off a kid, or titties do you have to pluck out of a girl?
To get there.
Yeah, and I think we are too. The data is clear. The data they don't want you to see. It's coming in. It's crystal clear.
Well, just like we were saying with the election and everybody kind of waking up, getting more independent media sources, and the death of mainstream media.
Absolutely,
it's coming with the medical information too. And now with RFK in charge, people are picking up on what he's been saying for a while.
Yeah. It's funny. I'm starting to hear some people because, they're going after every one of Trump's picks are just the most evil, worst, dumbest, most rotten. Like it would make your argument so much better if you were like, yeah, these 13 seem like they're good, but these 5 picks in particular, we have a problem with, and here's why. And then ding, 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 and then you'd go, okay,
so they're giving it a fair play. They've got a majority.
No, every one of them is just the worst decision that's ever been made in the history of the country.
And
So
then
you just
2
go,
days
oh,
later,
okay.
here comes some sexual allegations or an abuse allegation.
Right.
And it's so frequent nowadays. It's like I open Twitter. It's like, oh, another sexual allegation for a Trump pick. Oh, well.
Yeah. I know.
It could totally be true. I just don't fucking care anymore.
Yeah. No, I don't either. And you know the playbook. We've seen the playbook. Yeah. That's the problem. It's like once I know the plays, it's like, oh, you're running that play now. Oh, okay, I gotcha. Oh, cool. You're running Pete Hegseth's up. Are you guys running a post route? Or are you doing a deep dig? What are you doing here? What's the play? Just, I mean, I'm already aware.
Are we going to get the out of context soundbite, or are we going to get the allegation?
Right. Oh, the allegation. Oh, the one that NDA was signed, so we had to go around that with a memo from a friend of the. I got it. Yeah,
the one that was clearly just I just don't fucking want to deal with this. Here's $5 million. Fuck off.
Yeah, exactly. In the heat of the Me Too movement, dude, I can totally fucking see that too.
Yep.
That argument of I thought it would look bad and I'd get shit canned from my easiest gig on earth.
Photo.
What's that?
I was going to say standing in court's never a good photo to have looming around.
No, or not even that. Just having some like, oh, dude, you went to a bar and you banged some whore that night.
Yeah.
Nice job, dickhead. You know, we don't need this on our morning show. And he risks his whatever millions of dollars a year salary over that. It's like, can I just write this broad a check and make her fuck off? And it's like, yeah, sure. We can do that. No problem. So our campaign shines a light on CHOP and Admiral Levine. That would be Rick Levine. Sorry, Rachel Levine. And their collusion that helped shape Pennsylvania into one of the nation's most prolific promoters of sex change treatments for children, according to Dr. Stanley Goldfarb. By embracing experimental and irreversible sex changes for minors, CHOP has violated its primary duty to do no harm and to provide the highest medical care. We hope to provide patients and families with the resources they need to learn the truth about CHOP's politicization. Did I say that right?
Politicization.
Of medicine enabled by powerful ideologues like Admiral Levine and former Governor Tom Wolf. The video notes that in 2008, CHOP started a progressive health policy that think tank that ultimately became the CHOP Gender Clinic in 2015. Former Pennsylvania Governor Tom Wolf appointed a man who identifies as a woman, Admiral Rick Levine, Rachel Levine, as the general physician for Pennsylvania Care for Minors, even visiting schools for weekly referrals. Children were prescribed puberty blockers, underwent sex change surgeries. CHOP's actions have since altered hundreds of children's and families' lives forever. So again, you creepy ginger, Jen Psaki, what is rare to you? Is hundreds of children's bodies altered forever? They'll never have orgasms. They'll never have children.
Nope.
They'll never fucking wake up at 16 and go, oh, fuck. I didn't know what I was doing when I was 12. Why would you put me on medications like this? Now I can never have kids? Holy shit. I'll never know sexual orgasm climaxing? Really? And you guys, you let Admiral Levine talk you into this shit? Wow. CHOP went so far as to train their staff to hide information about children's perceived gender identity and coerce parents into supporting these irreversible changes, while Levine was successful in securing millions in taxpayer dollars to cover the cost. CHOP has written 768 prescriptions for children undergoing sex-related interventions, administered hormones and puberty blockers to 117 kids, and performed sex change surgeries on 5 minors. CHOP is not the only hospital in Pennsylvania. Penn State Children's Hospital has had 10 minor sex change surgery patients. The UPMC Children's Hospital of Pittsburgh has had 4. The state has had 814 total sex change patients and over $5 million in submitted to insurance company charges for what it's worth.
It's usually the money. I feel like once you follow the money, it becomes a way uglier problem.
Yeah.
You don't make much money telling a kid to go home and get some therapy.
No. Put them on puberty blockers. And you know what? Maybe that was I don't know if it's a grift for Rick Levine,
No, but
father.
I mean, if you think about it, a transition is something that you have to go through for the rest of your life and get medical procedures and medications for the rest of your life. It's how you get them in the system, so they're always paying you something.
Always.
And you ain't going to switch your doctor up because that's too much work.
And maybe it's totally normal. But the difference for Rick is Rick didn't transition until he was 52 years old. Okay?
Yeah, when it's like, okay, have at it. Rachel already had his kids. Rachel, Admiral Levine, already had a few kids and a family. A full life.
Yeah, that opportunity was stripped from hundreds of children that Rachel's in charge of. And by the way, whenever I see Rachel speaks about one topic and one topic only. That's it. It's kind of like that Sarah fucking whatever his name is that's in Congress now. Seems to be doing the same thing. Always talking about this issue, which some could argue I'm doing too. But I'm highlighting what kind of nonsense is going on in these levels. Rachel Levine, I'm pretty sure, had multiple children, had a successful marriage, and then decided at 52 years old, I believe, to become a woman. And is now pushing this shit on children. So whatever harm Rick's done, to himself, I don't know how that plays out in the long run, but these children are not going to have the same opportunities of raising a family that Rachel has had. Just saying. And when you talk about how, this is so rare. It's just so rare. Why are we even talking about this? It's the same thing as J.D. Vance talking with Martha Raddatz, if you have that clip, and how absurd she sounded. And I'll give you an update on how that story's going.
Get right here.
Sorry, there's dogs barking here.
Oh, you're all good.
The fat one is.
The incidents were limited to a handful of apartment complexes, and the mayor said our dedicated police officers have acted on those concerns. A handful of problems.
That's it. What are we talking about?
Martha, do you hear yourself? Only a handful of apartment complexes in America were taken over by Venezuelan gangs, and Donald Trump is the problem and not Kamala Harris's open border. Americans are so fed up with what's going on, and they have every right to be. And I really find this exchange, Martha, sort of interesting because you seem to be more focused with nitpicking everything that Donald Trump has said rather than acknowledging that apartment complexes in the United States of America are being taken over by violent gangs. I worry so much more about that problem than anything else here. We've got to get American communities in a safe space again. And unfortunately, when you let people in by the millions, most of whom are unvetted, most of whom you don't know who they really are, you're going to have problems like this. Kamala Harris, 94 executive orders that undid Donald Trump's successful border policies. We knew this stuff would happen. They bragged about opening the border, and now we have the consequences, and we're living with it. We can...
So to Martha Raddatz, this is why are we even talking about this? What's the deal? What?
It's only talking 3 apartment complexes.
Complexes. I love that it's not apartment. It's complexes.
Buildings.
The Tren de Aragua fucking gang has infiltrated. Well, the Department of Homeland Security issued an internal memo last week warning agents that the Venezuelan gang, Tren de Aragua, has expanded its territory in the U.S. to 16 states. And I would argue, no, it's 18 states now. In the internal memo on Monday, writing that DHS officials warn that TDA has most recently increased its violent tendencies in D.C., Virginia, Montana, and Wyoming. The gang also has a presence in California, Colorado, Florida, Georgia, and Illinois, Louisiana, Nevada, New Jersey, New York, North Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, and Wisconsin. I would say they're also in Michigan and Arizona. So while they claim 16 in their memo, I've seen maps highlighting where they're absolutely in Arizona. Why wouldn't they be in Arizona, coming up the Mexican border, and in Michigan as well?
I think especially because your governor said that she's not going to adhere to Trump's border policy.
Good, because I know Katie Hobbs here in Arizona said the same thing. Got on a podium, and she was saying that, which is great because Tom Holman, the guy that's going to execute this, said, we will do this with or without your fucking help. Sorry, pack your bags, fuck faces. We're coming.
Watch them all just coming around Arizona, and New Mexico too, just in case.
Yeah, that was the mandate that was voted on. So Katie Hobbs and fucking Stretch and Gretchen, whatever dumbass wants to make their stand on this hill. Good luck with that. So we'll see. Push is going to come to shove. This problem exists, and we'll see how this plays out. But I don't know. This is not the hill to die on.
No,
you cannot release tens of millions of people into a country and just expect like, man, what are you going to do about it now? Well, you're going to have a vote. Citizens are going to vote, make their voices heard, and then Tom Homan, who has been raging about this topic for a decade, is going to get involved and know that he's got someone that's got his back.
Yeah.
So it's going to get ugly. It's going to get scary. Trump doesn't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck either. If you want to put people, you want to have cages to round people up to hold people. They're talking about that. Like, don't give a fuck. We'll ask you nicely to get the fuck out. And if you don't, then we'll hold you somewhere until we can make you get the fuck out.
Yep. And I think somebody asked the current borders are. He's like, oh, where are you going to even start with this? Like, I mean, how do you even do it? He said, we have 700,000. I think he said 700,000 illegals with actual cases in the U.S. who have been picked up by cops, who have charges, who don't show up to court. Yeah. We're going to start with those motherfuckers and go from there.
They'll start with the prisons first. Yeah. They'll start with those and just, and that's tens of thousands. Yep. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. You created this problem. This administration created this problem, and now someone else is going to have to come in and clean it up. Yeah. And you don't get to judge how that looks. Sorry. You don't have to like it.
They shouldn't have been here. Sorry.
Yeah. And unfortunately, the immigrant community voted very strongly about this. Yeah. They don't like this. It's what I wish the fucking gay and trans community would do. The actual LGBTQ whatever community. I wish they would stand up more vocally against this shit being done in their name too. Because I guarantee you, I don't know the gay person who was like, no, why wouldn't we fucking trans children? No, I don't know any of them that are comfortable with that. And so the immigrant communities around this country, border towns throughout Texas and Arizona, spoke loudly about what they think. And they're less compassionate about how you do that than most fucking liberal white Americans are.
Yeah.
So let's be clear about that.
It was kind of funny to see how many liberals' heads started spinning the moment that they realized that most of the people ratting out the illegals in their community are the legal immigrants.
Yeah. Doesn't surprise me.
It's a lot of the Mexicans who are like, no, I got here the right way, but if you're looking for the illegals, check that house over there.
Yeah.
They hate those motherfuckers.
Yeah, absolutely. They dude, if you're here, and this idea, trying to fearmonger people into thinking they're coming from your Nana who got here 30 years ago and pays taxes and just worked hard and is now retired and it's illegal. No one's coming for her.
No,
they're not worried about her.
No,
they are worried about these gang fuckers though. Yeah, they are. According to this DHS memo, TDA's foothold in the nation's capital, D.C., and surrounding Virginia suburbs coincides with increases in migrant populations in the area. As the population of Venezuelan nationals continues to increase, the potential for violent TDA migrants is highly probable. The memo said that the TDA is focused on D.C. because it's easy to travel from the nation's capital to the surrounding suburbs, where they commit thefts and assaults. Border Patrol sources said that these gang members cross the U.S.-Mexico border and are often released into the country under this current administration's policies, identified by their tattoos. So a 5-point crown is one of them, a clock and roses, and also the Jumpman tattoo. The Jordan Jumpman tattoo is one of them.
So just a lot of like regular white girl tattoos.
Yeah, sort of.
With the Jumpman thrown in there.
The illegal immigrant currently on trial for killing Georgia nursing student Laken Riley is an active member of that gang, by the way. Trent Aragua made headlines again over the summer when local officials in Aurora, Colorado warned that members of the gang had taken over an apartment complex in the Denver suburb. In New York City, members engaged in sex trafficking and police shootings. Last week, it was announced the gang is running sex trafficking rings out of Nashville, Memphis, Knoxville, and Chattanooga. So all over Tennessee.
Great.
Trump confirmed he plans to use the military to conduct mass deportations upon taking office. You know what, though, Garrett? Immigrants commit less crimes than American citizens do.
Yeah, totally. Because there's a lot less of them.
That's like saying, like, my small dog takes smaller shits than your big dog. Okay,
No
well,
shit.
I don't want to clean up your small dog shit either. I'll let you do that. And you know what? I fully am aware that there are American citizens who are pieces of shit too. I'll worry about those pieces of shit. I want Venezuela to worry about their pieces of shit.
Yep.
How about that? So there should be none problems in America with Venezuelan gang members. Zero. Like when I was growing up, my entire life. You know how many problems there were with Venezuelan gang members in America? None. Zero. It should still be zero. Just saying. All right. Let's see. God, my fucking throat is seizing up. Why don't we do a couple emails?
All right.
And call it. I know it was a harsh day, but Jesus. And I got something going on outside this door.
No,
Dogs
I've been
nuts.
I've been sniffling all fucking afternoon. Just these allergies are kicking my ass.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. My throat is literally seizing up on me right now. By the way, I think I mentioned to you off the air, but I should let people know. I don't know about tomorrow. I'm finally getting this tooth. I've got the consult for that tomorrow locally. It's the last tooth, and all the work I've had done. Really what it was I kept having problems with these two teeth. This side was fixed. This one was fixed. That toothy. And this one was a problem. And so while I've taken lots of time off to go to the dentist and do this and that, I keep having, but I need a permanent fix. The problem was I was just putting a Band-Aid on and something that needed a tourniquet and surgery. So I'm finally going to deal with it once and for all. I'll be done with it. And then hopefully my teeth issues are just done.
That'll be my turn to take a bunch of days off for dental work.
Which is fine. It's horrible. The dentist is a horrible experience. Horrible. It's awful. I've done plenty of medical procedures. The teeth ones are my least fucking favorite of all of them.
Yep.
So here's the deal. I don't know. It's not like I'm going in and getting all this work done tomorrow. But it's at a time like when we do the show. And because of our time schedules, I don't know when I'll be home. I'm going to prep tomorrow like it's a normal show. And then
I'll be on call.
Garrett will be on call. But if I'm gone for a couple hours, there's just no way. It'll just get too late. So just giving you the heads up now that it's planned in advance. If we can be here tomorrow, we'll be here. If not, member show on Thursday for sure. Patreon.com/TDC podcast, where we do an extra show each week. That's a lot of fun. Also, I did want to mention, before we get to email, MyPillow Christmas extravaganza going on. I think it's legal to buy MyPillow again, I think. So I would recommend doing that. MyPillow is glad to announce that their Christmas extravaganza is finally here. Get this season's flannel sheets for as low as $59.98. They won't last long, so get them while you can. My slippers, they haven't been on sale for over a year. Regular price is $120, now just $60. So they're half price. 6-piece towel sets are back in stock with extremely limited quantities, $30 for those. They're great. I love the My Towels. Hundreds of MyPillow products. Go to MyPillow.com. Be sure to use promo code TDC to save on all MyPillow products. For example, those flannel sheets, $60. The original MyPillow, they still have it $14.88.
Oh, hell yeah.
With promo code TDC. The Queen pillow is $18.88. That's usually $70 for context. King pillow is $1 more, $19.88. It's usually $80, which means I'm not going to see shit when you guys buy these, but please go take advantage. I use their pillows exclusively. I love them.
I give myself one of those white supremacist pillows. Rest my head on that Trump's president.
Hell yeah. All right.
Underneath my Hitler blanket. Some people have seen it in some photos, but it's a big old blanket that I use as a curtain.
A blanket you use as a curtain? What are you talking about?
My mom got it for me a while ago. It's hangs by my bed. It's a Hitler going down a rainbow on a toboggan.
Oh, okay.
He's in pajamas. It looks very fun.
Oh, that's kind of cool. I want to see that. Pull it up.
I'll put it up in a fan page or something.
Yeah, great. That's just what we need. More Hitler references. Perfect.
Why not? We're that show. Trump's in office. We can do that again.
Yeah.
I thought the masks were off.
Yeah, you're doing it.
I'm allowed to be racist again, right?
Your body, my choice crowd. We don't want to egg them on. I don't want to.
Marina's on thin ice. She's brown and trans.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, exactly. She used to be super.
I think I can legally hit her again.
Walters at DetroitCast.com. Send me your emails. Hey, fags. Really enjoying the Ho Mo Mike episodes of the show. Amy's great. Mike is Mike. And Garrett likes balls.
That's true.
It's always a fun mix. Hope we hear more from her in the future. For some reason, I tend to watch those episodes instead of just listening to those episodes. Weird, I know.
I look better on those episodes.
Yeah, Garrett does look good on those episodes. That's probably what it is. Hi, Woke Bay, not Connor. Jerry, Howdy. Not that Jerry.
Okay. Howdy, okay. Jerry. Not that Jerry.
Different Jerry. It's not Connor. I like the fact that someone's pinching. Hi, Woke Bay.
Yeah.
It's a good one. That's going to, Connor's going to be like, that's mine. I say hi, Woke
Let
Bay.
them fight it out in the emails.
Yeah, they could.
I mean, the power line debate's gone down. We need a new debate.
I don't think James listens anymore, but when he was listening and emailing every day, it was great when him and Connor would have full discussions. That was hilarious when they would go back and forth and like talk about each other or to each other.
I'm sure James is listening. He just hears my point. He realizes he doesn't have to email in anymore.
Yeah, maybe he's got one of his own on the team. You know,
yeah,
what with
like,
being gay and being gay and libertarian, he's got the whole package.
Yeah,
James has the whole team there, so he's all in. Hey guys, was watching the show like I do every day. I noticed the mini guitars behind Mike all of a sudden. I recognize Eddie Van Halen's guitar. What are the others? Thanks, Kevin. Hey, yeah, you see him back there? Those are like wooden. Yeah, there's Eddie. You guys know I'm a big Motley Crue guy. Which one? Oh, yours is a real guitar. I have one of those too. I don't need to brag about it on camera.
Hold on.
All right, hold on.
Prominently displayed are 2 TDC stickers, not just one.
All right. Oh yeah. Oh, it's electric. I always see you with the.
Oh, yeah, I have the acoustic on the other side.
Yeah. What kind is that?
This is a Fender Squier that I got when I was 7 years old.
Really?
Still play it, still rock it.
That's interesting. When I was a kid, the Squier was the cheapest guitar they made.
Yep.
And it had the Fender name. Here's something people don't know about the Fender Squier, and I don't know if this applies to one when you would have gotten one when you were 7. They're actually fucking great guitars now.
They are.
Yeah. They're like the Fender Squier was the entry level guitar if you're starting out, you know, like
anyone who plays guitar knows that Fenders are pretty much the Nokia of guitars. You can't break them.
Yeah.
I've had that thing since I was 7. It's been through a lot of trunks and cars. It's been through a lot of drops, a lot of accidents, stage stuff.
Right. But
works just fine.
Fender is a high line. Like all the world's best play Fender. They play the Stratocaster. There's the Telecaster.
It's been switching recently.
But then there was this entry level Fender Squier back in the day, and it was, you could get one for cheap as shit, and it was garbage. It really was. The Fender Squier was not a good guitar when I was a little kid, but it was, parents aren't going to go buy a Fender Strat for their kid and spend those kind of dollars on that fucking guitar.
I was like 7. It was like, let's get the 150 one that comes with a little practice amp.
But the thing that a lot of people might not know is the Fender Squier is actually a pretty decent guitar nowadays.
Oh, I love
Again,
mine.
I don't know. So mine here, that is, these are wooden little guitars. I love them though. They're fucking great little models. Mick Mars used to play this with the Faces on It Theater of Pain tour.
Yeah,
I believe it was.
If you can find Tom Morello's Arm the Homeless one, let me know. I'll buy that.
Yeah. Well, I've got not a Stevie Ray Vaughan. I ended up getting, there's a few of these that I've collected over the years. This is one of my favorites. This Mick Mars played on the Girls, Girls, Girls. And this would have been I believe, a Telecaster maybe. It's got that shape of a Tele, but I can't remember if he was playing Kramer then, and I don't know what they did. But on the Girls, Girls, Girls tour, he had the Dancing on Glass with the guitar painted with the heroin needles on it. Yep. But the cool thing about this one is they went like authentic. Now, if you know anything about that tour, This guitar in particular, this Girls, Girls, Girls one, Mick could turn it around and he had a set of tits on the back. Yeah. And so whoever made these knew that.
Included it. That's awesome.
And included that. And it was like, oh, they were authentic enough to include the titties on the back of the Girls, Girls, Girls one. I'm in. And so, yeah, I've been slowly unpacking shit that was at my house. And up there is a Gibson Thunderbird that Nikki Sixx plays.
Nice. Have you heard the new EP?
And then obviously Eddie Van Halen over there.
Have you heard the new Motley Crue EP? They just dropped some new stuff.
Yeah, I'm guessing they AI'd Vince's voice. Like, he just can't sing anymore. So
yeah, you know what? It sounds very different. It doesn't sound like Motley Crue. I will take it as a mix of like Mastodon and another band I had in there. But
you know, this sucks because I'm a originalist. Like, Motley Crue is one thing, and that's all 4 members. It's a miracle they've all survived like they have. But without Mick Mars there, and it sucks because John 5 is just such a great dude.
Yeah, he's a great guitarist too.
He's an amazing guitarist, and he's literally one of the nicest people you'll ever talk to in all of rock stardom. Like, he's genuine, he's super sweet, he's super nice, and he's a brilliant level guitarist. And so I don't want to shit on him at all, but like, Motley Crue is what it is, and John 5 being in Motley Crue, I don't know if that's why the sound is different. I haven't heard it. You know, Motley has their run of classic albums for Motley Crue fans, and then there's just garbage up until you get to Saints of Los Angeles. Saints of Los Angeles is a great fucking rock album. It just is. Out of nowhere. I don't know what they did, if Nicky wrote or if they had other players. I don't know, but it's a great record. So I don't know. I'm not, dying to go pick up a new Motley Crue record these days.
I got you. So I'm the same way with like Rage Against the Machine, where it's anytime they release anything, or especially whenever they're just talking on a show or something, or an interview with Tom Morello, like I can't fucking listen to these guys anymore. I can't hear what they're saying because it's not Rage Against the Machine anymore. They're very left. They're with the government. I'm like, you had an anger inside you that it's just gone now.
And it was so genuine. Yeah, it was so genuine. And to go from Rage Against the Machine to Rage with the Machine is sacrilegious.
I just bring that up because I saw Brad Wilkes posted a little video on Instagram for like 93 Lollapalooza where they had Tool come up and sing part of their song of Know Your Enemy. And it was just this legendary fucking moment where I'm like, man, I hate that I'll never get to see that.
Yeah. Well, I recently saw a video of Rage early 90s in like a club.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Like, they're fucking kids, man. And they're literally raging against the machine. And Zach is going off. Like,
they had legitimate gripes.
Yeah, absolutely. And they knew what they were talking about. They're smart guys, no doubt.
No, Tom Morello's Harvard educated.
Oh, yeah. Tom Morello's no bullshit and reinvented, like a different style of guitar. Like, he just did.
Yeah.
Incredible players.
I'd credit him with starting Limp Bizkit.
Maybe, but there's just something. So it's like but you hadn't really seen that in music since Eddie Van Halen. Like, Eddie Van Halen came in and did what Hendrix did 20 years before that. And you go, holy shit. And I remember at the time thinking, well, that's it. How do you do anything better than that, than what Eddie's doing? Like, Eddie is changing the game. And then you get someone like Tom Morello and it's like, wait a minute. What the fuck? Like, crazy.
I have a very good example of a band that just did that recently. And now they're credited with it by legendary guitarists of the past have played with these guys. They're like, no, they've just reinvented how you play this motherfucking guitar.
Yeah.
That's, the band's called Polyphia. And I've been following them since they had their first tour.
Yeah. Well,
highly recommend people who like jam music, guitar stuff. That's a band to check out.
It's going to get interesting because people are doing the fucking 8-string guitars and 10. Like, I have a buddy whose son does that and has been doing it forever. You do that?
Some 7, some 8.
Yeah, like, it's crazy. So there's going to be more mainstream explosion of styles where it's like, holy shit. And you could get to a point where it's like, can you believe people used to play these things with just 6 strings on them? Yeah. Like, it's crazy what they're doing, but it's not lost on me what Jimi Hendrix, Eddie Van Halen, Tom Morello brought to this instrument that is a pile of wood and fucking strings, steel strings. and what they were able to do with it. And it's sad to me. Like, they're entitled to whatever beliefs they want, but literally we know what Rage Against the Machine is.
Exactly.
For like, they came out with a political statement. That was what they were. And so it's like, okay, I get it. You're older and wealthy now. And
So where are your problems?
Your Harvard is showing, sir.
Yeah.
You know, and now you're raging with the machine. Like, fuck, gross. The same problem still exists. So
yeah, it's one thing I love about Serj Tankian and System of a Down is he never changed his fucking way. They came out political and they've stuck to their guns.
Yeah. Well, who?
Serj Tankian, the singer of System of a Down.
Oh, yeah. What are they doing now?
It's mostly just him doing solo stuff.
Yeah.
But the band still tours every once in a while.
They're all entitled to their whatever. And I tried to avoid most of their political, like all bands.
Yeah, but some bands are political. It's Rage.
Yeah. Rage was one of them. And so it's like, ugh, just feels creepy and cringy.
Yeah. When it's like your whole message was one way and then you just flipped it.
Yeah. It's weird. It's weird.
Feels like you didn't stand for it. And I still do.
But I'm not a lunatic, so I don't hold their political leanings against what
I
they
still
do.
jam to them.
Yeah. Anybody can throw on, especially that first album. Even Bulls on Parade, is good. It's not as good as the first one, but it's good.
No, Evil Empire is always going to be my favorite. I know that isn't even they're self-titled, but
yeah. That's the first one, right?
I think so. I can check out the date.
No. What's the name of Rage's first? Was that self-titled? Was that just Rage Against the Machine?
Yeah, I think so.
Or was Bulls on Parade on Evil Empire? That might have been.
No, Rage Against the Machine self-titled was 92.
Okay, yeah, that's their first one. And then what was the second one?
That would have been Evil Empire.
Evil Empire had Bulls on Parade on it. That's the one with the bullseye on it?
That's the one with the kid and the star.
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to find the discography. Yep, it was their self-titled and Evil Empire, Battle for Los Angeles, and then Renegades.
Which one was in 96?
That was
Evil Empire.
Okay, so we did a promotion for that and did, like, when I was in Lansing at 92.1 The Edge, and we had some big fucking promo with them and had a concert with Rage, and it was
so cool.
So yeah, it was. It wasn't 1992 Rage. It was fucking Evil Empire Rage, but it was,
I feel like that would have been the best Rage though, because
I would have killed for the 92 Rage.
92 Rage was great, but at the same time, 96 Rage, they kind of figured out what they were doing and how to make these songs actually rock.
Yeah. That's the one with, Evil Empire comes in with Bulls on Parade.
How do you top fuck you? I won't do what you tell me.
Yeah, Killing the Name is great.
You. Like, dude, that whole album, start to finish, is a masterpiece.
Yeah.
It's a masterpiece. And so, 4 years later, having Evil Empire was, Bulls on Parade was cool. I don't know. It just didn't have that initial, like, he said what? Holy shit.
92, they were pushing boundaries.
Oh my God, dude.
92,
you just weren't putting stuff like that on vinyl or you just weren't. You wouldn't get airplay. You weren't received well in the public. Like it was dangerous to put that out and then make a single out of it. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me.
Yep.
Killing in the Name of was, I don't know if it was an official release single, but it was a massive song.
Yeah.
Like crazy.
I first heard that song in Guitar Hero 2 where they had to cut off the end piece. Then the fuck you won't do what you tell me.
Yeah.
You played the solo and then the song ended. When I heard the actual song, I was like, oh shit, this is even better.
Yeah. It's incredible. And there's absolute fucking rage in him screaming that. It's incredible. It's incredible. It's hard to.
And it was a single.
Hard to compete. It was a single. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you, Patricia Walters.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. All right. Patricia Walters, not just hating everybody out there.
No, she's helping sometimes.
It was. Okay. An official single release. Okay. I believe my mom there, Pat.
Hey, she also says self-titled was best. So
thank you. I agree. And that's honestly, that's not even up for debate. And maybe the fact that you're coming from it years later, but if you live through it,
I didn't find Rage until I was kind of coming up on my teens. It was coming up on the 2010s.
So you would have had both at the same time. You wouldn't have had the context of real time.
I had every Rage album before they reformed back in 2008.
Right, but you would have had them all at once. We had to wait 4 years between albums, and coming off of their self-titled debut, which was like, holy fuck. By the time 96 comes around, other bands had done that, copied that. there were more bands like it's just a different scene now. It's a different thing. So I think people that lived through the 92 album were like, how do you touch that? How do you, and Evil Empire's good. It's not the original one, but
I agree.
Still great.
I can see that.
All right, buddy. Let's call it a day. Hopefully we'll be back tomorrow. Like I said about the dentist thing, we'll see. If not, we'll see you members on Thursday, and have a great rest of the day.